Our top story, Iran is tightening its grip on the Strait of Hormuz. It has seized 2 ships after 3 ships were attacked in the strategic waterway. This, remember, comes even as the U.S. President Donald Trump has told the New York Post that a second round of the Iran-U.S. talks could take place within the next 3 days. According to a statement by the IRGC, one ship, Liberian-flagged container vessel named Epaminondas, was en route to Gujarat in India. The second ship has been identified as a Panama-flagged container ship named MSC Francesca. It was headed to Sri Lanka's Hambantota. Iran claims that the second ship belonged to Israeli regime, but Israel has not responded to IRGC's claim yet. The IRGC says that the 2 ships endangered maritime security by operating without the necessary permits and tampering with navigation systems. The IRGC in its statement calls the disruption of order and safety in the Hormuz as a red line. Now, according to the country's Tasnim news agency, a third vessel identified as the Greek-owned Euphoria was also targeted by Iran officials, and it is now stranded near Iran's coast. Around a fifth of global oil and liquefied natural gas normally passes through this crucial waterway. There are 2 clear messages that Iran is trying to send out to the United States. First, it is trying to demonstrate that the Hormuz is under its control. Tehran has previously stated that transits through this vital choke point must be approved by it. And it has announced a new pathway for vessels close to the Iranian coastline. The second message is related to the broader context. The Americans are imposing a blockade on Iranian ships and that this is a retaliatory strategy. Iran says that the strait will remain closed for as long as the blockade continues to impact Iranian vessels. At the same time, Iran has urged the United Nations to press the U.S. to immediately release the Iranian commercial vessel Tosca, along with its crew and other families, after the ship was seized by American forces in the Sea of Oman. Tehran has called the U.S. attack on its ships as an act of piracy. Donald Trump used social media to announce an indefinite extension of the 2-week ceasefire. He cited a request from mediator Pakistan and the need for Iran's fractured leadership to submit a unified peace proposal. Despite what appeared to be a unilateral ceasefire extension, America has maintained a naval blockade of Iranian ports, a move that Tehran officials call is no different from bombardment. Iran, on the other hand, paraded Khorramshahr-4 and Ghadar ballistic missiles in a pro-government rally in central Tehran. Khorramshahr-4, remember, is the advanced ballistic missile with an estimated range of 2,000 kilometers. It has been used by Iran in the war against US and Israel. The Ghadar, meanwhile, is a medium-range ballistic missile featuring an 1,800 to 2,000-kilometer range. It has been used by Iran to hit regional targets during the course of this war. Images displayed a large banner in the background with a fist choking off the strait. The caption read, "Indefinitely under Iran's control, and Trump could not do a damn thing," referring to the waterway. All right, let me welcome my guests on the show. Giorgio Cafiero is joining us live. He's a professor in Georgetown University and CEO of Gulf State Analytics. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. Good evening and welcome, Giorgio. Can I start by asking you how you see this moving forward? Because clearly Iran has made the Hormuz as its own weapon in this war, as its own powerful tool against America. Donald Trump, meanwhile, of course, extending the ceasefire. Do you see any headway happening at the moment in this situation?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me back on your program. Always great to be with you. This 11th hour move by Trump certainly took some by surprise, especially considering the fact that not too long ago quite recently, he said he was against a ceasefire extension, but clearly the Pakistani mediators were able to convince him that this was the right step to take. I think it's clear that Trump is pursuing an off-ramp. He is paying a big price, politically speaking, here in the United States. From a domestic perspective, this war has gone very badly for Trump, and the disruptions to global energy markets stemming from this conflict are going to hurt Trump as well as Trump allies who are seeking re-election. in November as we have our midterm elections this year. So this is why one of the main reasons why I think Trump wanted to extend this ceasefire. It's very clear that Iran has been able to leverage its geography and really put the global economy in a stranglehold. And it doesn't seem as if the Trump administration is able to find a quick fix to this problem. And this is the mess that the Trump administration finds itself in. Obviously, the Strait of Hormuz, among other issues, will remain a very sensitive sticking point between the United States and Iran. Right now, we find ourselves in sort of a no war, no peace situation, but this is really just a pause to a war that has not resolved. And I think this truce or this pause in fighting could collapse at any moment and hostilities could resume, even if the United States does not, the Trump administration more specifically, does not want that to happen. This is, as one analyst on Al Jazeera put it so well, really the fog of peace.
What will resolve this war, Giorgio? Because Donald Trump has been claiming that we will have a deal very soon. Would that deal be better than what Barack Obama got under the JCPOA, or would it be something that would be a minor change in that very deal, but Trump will portray it as a big victory and get out of this war ASAP?
I think the second one that you mentioned would be more realistic. I do think that the United States and Iran could reach a deal, but that would definitely require the United States to show some flexibility on the issue of Iran's nuclear program. I think Iran would be willing to sign a new deal in which its nuclear activity is more restricted than the restrictions that the 2015 JCPOA imposed on Tehran's nuclear program. But Iran is not going to accept a deal that requires the country to commit to zero enrichment of uranium. As Iran sees it, the right to enrich uranium in line with the NPT is very important to Iran's sovereignty and its rights as an independent country and an NPT signatory. So I think that this is one of the, yes?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Oh, yes. So I do think a deal is possible, but if the Trump administration is going to continue trying to impose the maximalist Israeli stance that says a deal requires zero enrichment on Iran's part, then I do not see us getting to a deal. But again, if the Trump administration can show a little bit of flexibility on that front, I think there would be more reason to be optimistic about Washington and Tehran reaching some sort of a deal at some point.
All right, let's wait and see how this moves forward. Giorgio, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on WION and sharing your perspective.
Good to be with you. Thank you.